Hello everyone, my name is Mimi79. Today I've got a daily race around Sardinia in Group 3 as daily race C. But the twist with this one is that there are two compounds available and both of them are required. So again, for about the 7th week running, I think I heard somewhere, there is strategy involved, which is always good to see. I think the boring no-stop sprint races, well, I say sprint race because 17 minutes isn't exactly an endurance race now, is it? But again, it's nice to have some strategy involved, even if it is just a simple one-stop. But we're in the Chevrolet Corvette. Now I did a 138.604 in the McLaren F1, which put me in the top 50 in EMEA at the time of recording. And to be honest, I felt there was a clean lap, but it wasn't exactly amazing. Definitely could have gone quicker, but it's put us in 4th place, and I think the Corvette is one of the best race cars. But there's 5 different cars here in the top 5. You've got Williams Speed Racer in the Z4. You've got VQS Sparks in 2nd in the Ferrari. Thunder's obviously just in front in the McLaren F1. And Basic Ollie behind in the Jaguar F-Type. All fairly solid cars, I'd say, apart from the Ferrari. I mean, the Z4, you can say all you want about it and how bad it is, but you've got to give it credit for, you know, being one of the most stable cars in Group 3. Unlike the Corvette that I'm driving right now. But we're just going to whip it forward because on the main straight there's not much really to report on. As you can see, that Sparks looking around the outside. He's almost got the move done, but he just runs out of road and B Racer keeps first position. But I think Thunder's just tagged him there, and he's going to pick up a 3-second penalty. And as you could probably expect, he's just given up, and instead of going right, he goes left, mimicking that Hudson Hornet quote from Cars, and he disappears into the abyss. But now it's my job to try and keep with B Race, and getting on the power too early isn't going to help. Now, to be fair, he is on the soft tyres, I believe, at this point. But admittedly, I am in a better car, especially since Z4 has quite literally 0 straight line speed. I mean, I did gain like a 10th or so just on that one straight alone, and also the really sloppy exit. Now you have to bear in mind that he will be getting better power out the corners as he is on the softer tyres, but we're just going to skip forward to lap 3 here. And what do you think is going to happen? Yep. We hit the wall and Sparks and Ollie go past, and actually Sparks is going to get both of us in the space of about 5 seconds. But here, this is the crunch point in the race, I think, because at this point I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go into the pits. I'm gonna try the alternate strategy. I'm gonna try and get the undercut, if you like, on the cars in front. So just skip forward to the pit stop then, again on those fresh ketchup tyres. And out we go then, 5.2 second pit stop. And as you can see there, Wind 109 reappearing. I believe he started 6th in this one. He even pitted on lap 1, I think, so very early onto the soft tyres. I can't imagine the tyre wear would be very good by the end of the race, especially in the Corvette, which isn't amazing on tyres. But as we go through the first sector then, this sequence of corners is very tricky to get right, and never really nailed it, I don't think, once. But skipping forward to the end of lap number 4, as you can see that Ollie has pitted for soft tyres, and he just re-emerges there. And are we going to get past him? Wind does, and I follow him through. Now that was close, and bear in mind that Ollie was about half a second ahead before I went into the pit stop, and now I'm 4/10 ahead, so we managed to get a pretty sizable overcut. But you do have to bear in mind that his tyres will be 1 lap fresher at the end of the race, and with times 8 tyre wear, that will make a world of difference. But you've also got to bear in mind that the Jaguar is also, I'd say, better on tyres than the Corvette, simply because it has quite a bit less torque, so the rear end won't snap out as much. But as you can see here, wind is all over the place, and we've managed to latch onto the back of him at this point. And as we go up the hill into the hairpin, he's just going to let us go. He thought better of it, and we move up into 9th position. So out of the hairpin then, solid exit. And now we've got to set our sights on Blue Racer in front. Now bear in mind, Blue Racer hasn't pitted yet, so we've effectively got about 17 seconds on him. But as you can see, they're really nice exit through the kind of left-right, or right-left even. But as you can see, they're running a little bit wide on exit, and that will perhaps cost us a 10.5 to 2 tenths. And now Ollie is in the suck zone, as you could say, onto the main straight. So as you can see there, he's gaining and gaining and gaining. It's going to be American power versus British power. And as we go to turn 1, he's on the outside, and I'm braking as late as possible, but he's just managed to hang it around the outside. I've just left him enough space so I don't accidentally take him out like I did maybe in other races, other drivers, unfortunately. But anyway, we're just going to have to tuck in behind. I think it's clear at this point that Ollie does have slightly better pace. So we're just going to tuck in, maybe try and get some slipstream and try and catch up to B-Racer, who at this point has quite a sizable gap out in front to Sparks in the Ferrari. And one thing you have to watch out for in this race is ×8 tyre multiplier. This means that the tyres will fade, especially in a mid-engine car, because obviously they do struggle on the tyres. So as you can see that Ollie's slowing right up into the hairpin, and that did cost me quite a lot of time, maybe 2 or 3 tenths, but we're catching up to the Spaniard SST van. Now if you know what this guy's been up to in the past, then you know that he doesn't have a great track record, but it is lap 6 and this is the pit stop window for soft runners. But as we go to the final corner then, just having to go a little bit wide so I don't hit Ollie. But as we go onto the main straight then for the 6th or 7th time I think, and in fact Ollie got held up quite massively by SST Ban going into the pit lane, and that is going to cost him, and we're going to move up into 3rd position, but make that 2nd as Sparks comes out the pit lane and me and Ollie both get past him. But now it's up to me to get past B-Racer, because there's about a 2nd gap to him, but bear in mind he is on the medium tyres, so we should theoretically have quite a sizable pace advantage, especially as we are in the faster car. But as we go into the 2nd sector, we've not actually gained all too much. Perhaps tyre wear started to set in on this Corvette. As we go out of the left-hander, not an amazing exit, could have definitely attacked the inside a bit more, but right now I just have to give kudos to B-Racer for absolutely dragging that Z4 to such a good position. It's absolutely unbelievable what you can do with perhaps slower cars. As we continue through the lap, we are closing on him, even though he is one of the fastest in the game. It does help that we are on softer tyres and the straight line speed is much better, but they're just accelerating a little bit too early and losing half a tenth to B-Racer. But as we go into the final corner, clipping the apex quite nicely, and then on the exit just making sure we could get the power down. And at this point I wasn't sure what Ollie was going to do, because in the laps before this he was bump drafting me, so I'm not really sure if he is if he's going to continue that trend. But as we go into the first corner, he's going to go to the left hand side, and it's very clear at this point that he is going for the overtake, so I'm just going to let him through, maybe try and let him close up to B-Racer. And even though that did lose us maybe 2 tenths to B-Racer, it will maybe in the long run get as close as he perhaps has the better pace. Just braking early there so we have a bit of a distance. And as we go out of the first sector, just running a little bit wide, and that isn't exactly what you want to do really, because it does lose you quite a lot, especially with dirty tyres. But as you can see, the gap opened up to about 6.5 tenths, and at this point I thought it's game over. He's out slipstream. He's gonna latch onto B-Race, and those two are gonna battle it out for the last 2 laps. But in fact, he isn't quite in there just yet. At least I don't think so. But as we go into the hairpin, nailing our braking point quite nicely, and then managing to get the power down. I can't speak today. And to be honest, the main thing in this race is to just keep it consistent, don't make any mistakes, because as you can see here, just running a little bit wide, I mean, bam, that's just a 10th gone already. There's not much you can really do. But B-Racer lets Ollie through, and this was very smart actually, because he knew that if he was in front going onto the main straight, it'll be game over. But instead he let Ollie through so he could use his slipstream. But as we go onto the main straight for the penultimate time in this race, or third to last time, you can see that they've just not got the oomph, and we're going to go down the inside of both of them. But B-Racer hangs it round the outside absolutely brilliantly. We get a bit of an oversteer on the exit, but we do move up into second place, and to be honest, I don't think we will be able to catch B-Racer and pass him, because you can see there on the left hand side the tyres are starting to fade. You know, there's definitely not enough grip to really keep up with him, especially as he is such a good driver. You know, he didn't really make many mistakes at all in this one. As you can see there, he got a much better exit. He's trying to break the slipstream, but to no avail, because we are just going to power up the hill, and especially with the straight line of the Corvette versus the lack of straight line speed for the Z4, it's no real comparison. As Ollie goes down the inside, that's also going to invite Sparks to go up the inside as well, and that's 2 positions lost in 1 corner. But bear in mind, the B-Racer is going to get away, so unless we, you know, get a wriggle on, he is going to win this race. But as we go into the final corner then, Ollie does go a little bit deep, and I thought at this point maybe he's lost the slipstream. But as we go onto the final lap then, you can see that Ollie is desperately trying to get into B-Racer's slipstream, and I'm just following him and Sparks. And to be honest, if you're not in the slipstream, you are going to lose out a lot, so that is definitely understandable. As we go down the inside of Sparks, but he just manages to hang it round the outside, so we have to stay in 4th. But as we go into the 3rd corner, I believe it is, just backing off, I don't want to, you know, smack into the back of someone and get a 3 gazillion second penalty and leave me on the side of the road with severe knee damage after gunshot wounds. You get the idea. But bit of a mistake there on the exit, and that is going to cost us. Perhaps not right now, but in a couple of corners time it will not do us any good. But we are still in the slipstream of Sparks, but Ollie's all over the back of B-Race. In fact, he looks for a move, but as we go to the hairpin, braking a bit too late, and we just get the power down a bit too early, and that is going to prevent any chance of a victory. But we're going to jump on board with Ollie now, because this is the battle for the lead. And as you can see there, B-Racer runs a little bit wide, and that will perhaps cost him half a tenth or so. And as you can see that Ollie not getting a good exit, B-Racer managed to get the power down, and with this Z4 being so stable, you could just floor it and, you know, get the car to rotate. But as we go on the run to the line, Ollie's got the slipstream, but B-Race is just going to hang on, is he? But the Jaguar's just got enough speed, and Ollie takes the win. Very, very well deserved from 5th on the grid. And wow, what a race that was. I mean, I I just enjoyed every single second of that. Even if I came home in fourth, 1.7 seconds behind everyone else, I still enjoyed that race very, very thoroughly. So yeah, it was awesome. You know, perhaps we didn't have the race pace of the front runners. I think if we just boxed on lap 4 instead of lap 3, where we still had the slipstream, I think we could have definitely had a better result. But again, if you did enjoy, just like and subscribe, turn on those post notifications. It really does help out the channel, as it does, you know, help YouTube algorithm recognize me. Also, leave a comment below for feedback so I can improve the videos. But take care everyone, and goodbye.